Hey guys, so for this video, I'm going to showcase 9 advanced building and editing tips and tricks. These will include everything from new box fighting techniques, to more optimal ways to rotate, and even a new method to negate fall damage. As always, the format will be the same. I'll show what the trick is, how to do it, why it works, and then an in-game example if applicable. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first trick we're going to look at is called the Ryu Classic. It's basically a much better and safer way to finish off the Mongraal Classic. And if you don't know what that is, it's when you yoink your opponent's wall, then instantly build a ramp after you edit through. Most people, including me, would finish by editing the ramp backwards for a shot. However, most decent players nowadays expect that. Sure, in theory, you could do the trick I showed last season where you reset the wall edit to block the shot, but that gives the other player way too much time to escape. So what you should start doing instead is the Ryu Classic. Edit the ramp into a backward staircase like this, then jump up onto the back part of it. After that, make sure you're standing up, and finally, jump up while also resetting the ramp edit. This will make you phase through very briefly and allow you to get a shot off as you fall behind the other side of the ramp. With some practice, you can easily master this and do it insanely fast. So fast that your opponent will have no idea what you're doing or time to see the shot coming. Next up is the only possible counter to the God edit. The God edit is what I call this right hand peek because of how insanely hard it is to counter. Your head barely appears on your opponent's screen, and even if they do see it coming, they only have a few milliseconds to react. Luckily for you guys, there is a way to beat it. All you gotta do is place down a cone and edit the top left tile up. This leaves you with a slightly angled cone that you can use to stay completely protected from the God edit. Even when your opponent jumps up or moves forward to try and hit you, you can position yourself at the bottom of the edited cone to remain out of sight. The other great thing this trick does is that it gives you a right-hand God peek of your own. So not only are you countering the hardest peek to defend against, but you're also creating an opportunity for a kill of your own. Third is an amazing new trick to always win box fights with an RPG. As you guys probably know, the most popular RPG trick involves you destroying a 1x1 and landing right on top of your opponent. The problem with that is it's extremely risky to get that close, and it's really easy to mess up. The much safer option is to place a ramp on the opposite side of their box, fire an RPG at it, and then turbo build a cone and floor beneath you. This way you can edit for an easy kill without ever entering their box. Here is Domo Season, aka the guy I learned this from, using it in a tournament match. As you can see, his opponent stands no chance. But what if your opponent is an itsJerian subscriber themselves, and they decide to edit you down anyways? Well, that's where the fourth trick, again by Ryu Zanami, comes into play. To execute it, just begin by standing at the corner of your opponent's box so they can't edit you down. Then build 2 walls across. From there, shoot a rocket where the 2 walls meet and turbo build 2 walls beneath the ones you just built, a cone in the box, and if you want, you can even try for the top cone and floor. What this does is even if your opponent manages to build a cone and floor before you do, you'll already have the 2 far walls they didn't even think to build. Plus, you'll have a cone beneath them that will prevent them from building a ramp to protect themselves. So in the end, it doesn't actually matter if you claim the top builds like in the other version. All that matters here is that you're getting a cone in their box and the 2 walls behind them. Moving on, and the 5th trick is a sweet little phasing maneuver you can use to outplay anyone. At some point, you guys have probably had someone sitting above you in scrims or in a tournament match. So to try and outplay them, you'll trap your floor and edit out all the walls to make their 1x1 break. The only problem with this is that they can easily counter your trap play with a simple cone or ramp. The trick Speedy Gonzalez showed me is that you can phase through a cone and then do the normal edit trap. This will leave your opponent with nowhere to build or to catch themselves, since all the walls have been edited down, and since there's a cone being phased through. That cone will prevent them from placing a cone or ramp of their own. Just remember, you need to stand up towards the center of the cone in order to phase through it and pull this whole thing off. Trick number 6 is yet another phasing peak from the tip master, Ryu Zanami. This trick is an alternate version of this old phasing trick that I've probably showed upwards of 5 or 6 times now. The main problem with it is that you can see your opponent is doing it through the wall. Therefore, we need something more discreet and secretive. My proposal is this simple half edit ramp shot similar to the Ryu Classic. Just edit your forward facing ramp in half and backwards so it's now facing the other way. Don't confirm it though. Then run about halfway up on it and finally confirm the edit. You'll end up phasing through on the way down and will have enough time to get off a fat pump shot. My personal favorite part of this is that you can then follow it up with a right hand peek since you'll be behind the half edited ramp. From your opponent's perspective, they'll be waiting for you to make an edit, but will be completely caught off guard when you hit them with this phasing move instead. 7th up is a simple yet insanely smart trick you need to start utilizing in box fights. The base version is what's called the Ryu Classic, where you build stairs over your opponent as they edit on you. However, because it's a ramp you're building, if they happen to be positioned in front of it, they'll phase through and kill you. Thus, the best and most effective counter is to rotate your stairs twice and then do the Ryu Classic. By doing this, you can block their shot if they're at the front of the box without having them phase through. Here's Ghost Snood using this trick in a solo cash cup after battling for the guy's floor. And you can see he knows exactly when to use the reverse ramp instead of the normal ramp, all because of his opponent's positioning. Second to last trick is a short one to help you rotate in hectic late games. If you guys are OGs to my channel, you might remember this tunneling trick I showed from EpikWhale way back in the day. It's still extremely useful, especially to tarp in solos, but for duos, trios, and squads, it's really not the best. What most pros are doing now is placing a wall to their side and then placing a ramp over their head by looking at the top of the wall. As long as you're towards the far side of the floor, you'll be able to place the ramp over you consistently and with ease. So now, not only are you protected from below to both sides and from above, but you're also using 10 less mats for each tile you go. That may not sound like a lot, but in scrims and tournaments, it's huge. Oh, and I almost forgot, your teammates will be able to run through what you built as well. The last and final trick is the one I mentioned in the beginning to help you negate fall damage. The trick is actually insanely simple and easy to pull off because the only thing you gotta do is edit out the floor or ramp that you're standing on. Literally, that's it. If you're wondering how this works, it's all based on the mechanics of breaking builds in Fortnite. A big staircase, for example, will start breaking from wherever you shoot it out. But if you break out another part of it from higher up, it will also start breaking from that point until the 2 points meet. With that in mind, we can apply it to vertical building. The concept is you basically edit the piece at the top to make it start breaking from there and then ride it out to stop you from falling and dying to fall damage. All credit again goes to Ryu. I honestly don't know how he finds so many amazing tricks because there's gotta be 15 more I didn't cover on his channel, which I'll link down below. I tried to show the most useful ones like this that you can use in a build fight or whenever you're on high ground in a scrim. Just remember, if you ever get shot out vertically, to edit out the piece you're standing on and hope for the best. Overall guys, those are 9 advanced tips and tricks I highly recommend you all master. Let me know down below which you found the most useful, and be sure to send me any videos you have of you using these tricks in game. So if you learned something new or found the video useful, then do be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and to turn on post notifications. Shout out to everyone using code itsJerian. I truly hope you guys all have a very Merry Christmas and nice holidays. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.